Here we have a 2007 Chevy Silverado Classic. It's the last model year of this body style, and we're going over the top 5 problems in this video. This being the last of the model year, they've gotten most of the bugs out. Let's see what bugs are still left. Number 1, the front hub bearings. Now this is common on most GM vehicles. What you're going to find is going down the road, you may hear a howling type noise, and it may change when you steer left to right. The pitch may change. Also, you can have some play in the hub bearing. If you grab the wheel right here and shake it, if there's significant play, it's got to be replaced. Although sometimes you may have a growling noise and not have any play. It's still got to be replaced. Don't get that confused with a noise in the front differential. If you have a noise in the front end, it could also be somewhere in the differential, whether it be in the bearings or the ring and pinion. But more common than not, it's in the hub bearings. Number 2, the EVAP vent valve. Now it's located up here, and this again is another very common GM problem. And most of the time it's because of moisture and debris getting into the vent valve. As you can see, someone has tried to modify this EVAP vent valve so that the vent that comes off the valve is rerouted up out of the way so debris and dirt does not get into it. The symptom you're going to find when you have an EVAP problem is the check engine light. You shouldn't have any drivability issues, just a code that has to do with the EVAP system. Whenever that happens, you definitely always want to check your gas cap first. Make sure it's tight. And then check the seal on the gas cap itself. Make sure it looks good. Double check. Make sure the ratchet in the cap feels good. Number 3, the fuse box under the hood. Now you want to make sure, if you have any weird electrical problems, to double check the battery terminals, make sure they're not corroded. And also this ground strap right here. If you see that this is green at all, or you can grab it and pull on it, that's going to cause some weird electrical problems. But sometimes you're going to have a problem with the fuse box. If you pull the cover off, you can sometimes see evidence that mice have been in here, and you definitely want to check underneath here. Slide that off, and you definitely see evidence of mice. You can see there's acorns and some mouse droppings, and underneath here as well. A lot of times they like to chew some of these wires. You could have a number of different electrical issues related to any of the fuses in this fuse box, so definitely check this area out. Number 4, steering components. Now you may find while you're driving down the road, the steering wheel feels a little bit loose. You turn the wheel back and forth and you're still going down the road straight. Some of the common steering wear components are the inner tie rods, the outer tie rods, the idler arm, and also the pitman arm. That's right there. There's not supposed to be any play in any of these components, so what you can do is shake the tire left to right and just see if it feels loose. If there's any movement, take a look at all those components and see if there's any movement in the inner tie rod end or the outer, or any of those other components we were just talking about. Now don't get those symptoms mixed up with our 5th problem, the intermediate shaft. The intermediate shaft is located right here on the firewall where the steering column connects to the steering box. This has been a problem on GM vehicles for an extremely long time. When you're going over bumps and you're turning the wheel slightly to the right or left, you're going to hear a clunk noise. It's going to sound like the front end of your vehicle is falling apart. And it's really only the intermediate shaft binding up and causing the issue. Replacing it will fix the problem. There is the potential you could lubricate it, but the problem is probably going to come back. Because this is a special vehicle, we're going to give you a bonus. We're going to go over some of the areas that you're going to see some wear and tear. In our top 5 issues, we never go over rust issues, but one of the common problems on this vehicle for rust is right here where the rocker is, and also the cab corners. So take a look at those. If you're buying one of these trucks, you want to look at that. Another thing to look at is this bracket right here, the upper shock bracket in the rear of the vehicle. A lot of times these separate right from this cross member, and that's not good. Most of these are cosmetic issues and pretty common on most vehicles, but the heater control buttons or the radio buttons sometimes wear out and you can't see what the numbers are or what the buttons actually do. On the driver's seat, this area of the seat tends to wear out faster. Even on cloth seats, you find these rip a lot. And with the leather, it's pretty obvious that it needs to be repaired or replaced. The headliner coming down a little bit right in this area. It's pretty common on most of these vehicles. And even the headlights fading, like most common vehicles. It's gonna look better if you replace it, but sometimes they are repairable. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to our channel, ring that bell, turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our videos.